So yeah, the Roman Empire was doomed to fail eventually with all these barbarians trying to invade from the south, from the east, from the north. All these fucking Nephilim high, bloodlines trying to take over the Middle Earth, which is Europe. And then the people of God's, you know, supposed to be the tribe of Judah, somewhat worked with the barbarians to, but the barbarians themselves hated the Judas, hated Judah, and so that's the double cross between the Nephilim tribes and the satanic tribe, ones of the tribe of Judah that went the way of the Freemasons and the Kabbalists, is that they will eventually be betrayed in the end, because the Canaanites actually hate Israelites, actually hate the nation of Israel. Um, the Edomites hate Israel too and hate Judah. And they hate white people too. Did you know that white people hate that the rich white people, that the Huns hate the actual real white people of Europe, the Celts? Did you know that? Just like they hate the real Israelites. Why do you think there's such an agenda to exterminate white people? They hate black people too. They hate everybody, really. The Nephilim hate everybody. I'm saying these Nephilim enslaved the world equally, Africa and Europeans. And these Hunnic, Germanic white men who are really Hamitic from their Nephilim seed are basically the traitors of the whole entire Caucasian peoples. Um, these are the royal families of Europe that mixed with the Phoenician and Edomite bloodlines. So does it make sense now why white people betray and sell out other white people? Why white Freemasons betray white men and hate real men? Because they're from the Huns. They're a bunch of savages. What can you expect from these savages? These Mongoloid, Eurasian, Hunnic savages. That's what Hitler was. He was a damn Hun. Why do you think Hitler wanted to reclaim Russia and wanted a living space for the German people? Because he wanted to reclaim the land of the Huns, the Prussians. He wanted to reclaim the Russia for the Rosicrucians, because he was a Rosicrucian. He was a Nazi. So that makes a lot of sense, because if it's the Ross cross, the Russian cross, then it's the Russian Rosicrucians. And they come from Russia. They come from the Tartarians, the Nazis, the Aryans. Tartarians are the Aryans. So he wanted to reclaim Tartaria for his Hunnic mixed people who were part of the serpent seed, who are the other serpent seed bloodline, that aren't the Canaanites, that aren't the J word. So this is why history is so confusing, because these people actively work to disguise history from you. So screw these Huns. All you white men that gang stalk me, you're a bunch of Huns. You're a bunch of barbarians. You're savages. The Huns work with the Moors. They work with the Moors. They're all one Nephilim tribe. And one way or another, they're related multiracially. So I'm really starting to learn all the real secrets of you Nephilim. And we'll learn why you're a bunch of traitors, too. At first, I just thought y'all were a bunch of Canaanites, but now I've learned your true secrets to you Aryans. We're a bunch of devil worshippers. Who did the Aryans worship? The Tartarians? The ancestors of the Indians? And they were the Scythians. They were pretty much called the Scythians, alright? The Scythians are the other serpent seed bloodline. They worship Deus, who was the progenitor, the Proto-Indo-European form of Zeus. So they worship Satan because they were from Nimrod. They were giants that were just the Hunnic peoples and the Magyars, Turks. The Turkic peoples came from Nimrod of Babylon, of Sumeria. And they spread their satanic, pagan, Rosicrucian religion from the Indo-European Scythians to all these, like the Greeks, the Nords, Odin is just Zeus. Thor is just Baal, And they just spread their little pagan religion from the Scythians, who were really the original Nazis, all over Europe. The Nazis were just Satanists, because they were Nephilim. So they came from the, Crimea area, Scythia. The Russian cross, the Rosy cross, the Ross cross. And I think these Huns worked with the Phoenicians at some point in history, had an alliance with the North African Phoenicians of Carthage, and the Carthaginians probably were sailors. And these sailors probably went up into the Black Sea to the Crimea and had interaction with these Aryan Huns, these Turks, Magyars, these Nephilim bloodlines up there. And they basically kind of had an ancient blood oath or blood pact with each other to work together against God's people and to work together against real humans. So this is why everything is why the Illuminati is so well put together, because it's not all, it's a diverse the bloodlines are diverse. It's complex history. But one thing for sure is that the Tartarians and the Phoenicians worked together. So that's going to be the title of this video. They were the alliance between the Tartarians and the Phoenician empires. The Tartarian empire has basically been wiped off the face. The Turkic, Tartarian, Aryan empire has been wiped off the face of the map. They don't want you to know about it. And they honestly don't even want you to know that much about the Phoenician empire either. They're both very mysterious. But these were the two peoples that became the dominant force upon the world. The two bloodlines, the Tartarians and the Phoenicians. Two main bloodlines that became pretty much the conquerors and hunters of mankind. Got the North African Phoenician Carthaginians, and got the Crimean, Aryan, Kurgan, Tartarian, Hunnic horde. And these Huns, this horde, they were the original pagans of the Europeans, from where paganism came from, where the satanic religions of Europe came from. Well, part of it. Some of it came from the Middle East and North Africa too. But some of it migrated from the East. And the fake Kabbalist Jews turned the Khazarian Huns and converted them to Judaism. So So they converted the Aryan Huns into Judaism. So this is why the Ashkenaz pretend to be Jews when they're not Jews. Even though some of them could be Jews, well, I'm not saying all of them aren't. Some of them could have been from the exiled Israelites and from migrating Jews, but some of them aren't. So some of them, not all of them are fake. Not all of them are fake that were from the Russian area. Some of them were, but it's really an alliance between the Philistines, Esau, and the Tartarian, Crimean, Turkic, Aryan Huns. That's the three main groups now that I'm going to say that are the three main bloodlines of the Illuminati. And also these Jews that intermarried with these barbarian tribes and learned the pagan ways of these barbarians, these Philistines, these Huns. So I think that's a more accurate, better theory representation of the world order than them just being solely from the Khazarians or solely from the Phoenicians or solely from the Jays. Is that they're a multi-ethnic horde of different bloodlines that have had an alliance of each other.